Hello everyone, my name is the Chemist77 and welcome to episode 12 of Farming Minecraft. I hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year's break, and I am now back to recording these in the same week that they're being released. The episode that came out on Tuesday was the last pre-recorded episode. It was supposed to come out a week before, but I messed up slightly and scheduled the wrong video. So yeah, but I got back, fixed that, and now we are ready to continue. So what I want to work on today is getting an end gateway in the void. And it's a little bit long-winded and complicated. Hopefully I can make it a bit simpler though. And yeah, so the reason I want to do that is because I want my industrial district in the end, particularly in the void, because it's really lag friendly out there because there is nothing out there to cause lag. And if I just head over to the end, I will just sort of show a little bit about how this is going to work. I'll explain obviously in a bit more detail when it comes to actually doing it. Yeah, hop through here. Okay, so here we are in the central end island. I'm going to hop onto this obsidian pillar here. Now, over there, we have a gateway. And on stream a few weeks ago when I beat the Ender Dragon, I went through and got some elytra, looted some end cities, etc. Now, if you don't know, up to 20 of these can spawn around the central end island. And how you get one to spawn is you kill the Ender Dragon. So what I'm going to do in a bit is spawn a few Ender Dragons and kill them. And what I'm looking for is a gateway that spawns in one of the 4 cardinal directions. So either north, east, south, or west, or compass directions. I don't know if cardinal direction is a phrase. I might have just made something up there. Anyway, we want a gateway that's either spawns on the north, east, south, or west. If we can get it on that side, which is actually west, it'd be what? North, east, south, or west. There we go. If I can get it over there, that'd be ideal because it's sort of nearish to my Enderman farm. And so actually that might not be a good thing. We'll see. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We just need one of those. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fly out to the end islands, not go through the portal, and do some fun block wizardry with endstone. Like I said, I'll explain it a bit more when it gets round to it. But first, I need to be able to spawn a load of dragons. And to do that, I need a specific ingredient that I don't have a lot of. And that ingredient is ghast tears. Now, fortunately, I actually have wings and a looting sword, so getting a decent supply of them shouldn't be too difficult. But, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start streaming now. And I'm going to go into the nether, into a soul sand valley to find a load of ghasts. And then we're going to kill a load of dragons. So by the time I bring you back into recording stuff, then, yeah, we should have gateways and we should be able to start getting out to the outer islands and doing some end gateway magic. So I'll see you in a bit. Oh, there's one that's above land. Hello. Hello. Oh, nearly lost them. Nearly lost them. Valley, because they don't. Thank you. Oh, I got him. I got him. I need soul speed 3. Hey, there we go. There we go. I can throw that soul speed 2 back out now. Let's put our last enchant on the right boots here. Collection 4, Unbreaking 3, Depth Strider 3, Feather Falling 4, Mending. Now Soul Speed 3. Oh, very nice, very nice. There we go. Thank you. There we go. That's 3. Wait. There we go. There we go. There we go. That is the last dragon. Okay, and with all of that work done with ghast killing and end dragon slaying, we now have oops, be careful not to fall in there. We have a gateway straight to the north and a gateway straight to the south as well. Now, what I need to do is get to where those end gates would be on the outer end islands without going through them. And I will explain why in a bit, but what I want to do is basically go to both ones and find out which one has the fewest blocks. So, if I pop through this gateway next to our straight north one, and then all we need to do is fly to X is 0, I believe. Okay, so I'm here at, well, I guess it should technically be this block. So this block here is 1000, or 0, sorry, on the X, and negative 1024 on the Z. And if I turn on our chunk borders using F3 and G, we will see that it is right inside these two chunks here, along this border. And this is very important because you'll notice there is no end gateway here. So if I just turn chunk borders off. Now, when a game generates an end gateway, it will go 1024 blocks out, and then it will work its way back. So if we get rid of all of these blocks within these two chunks, because it will be on like sort of this 0 or this negative one here, so it'll be in either of these two chunks, and then go all the way back towards the end island, then what we can do is cause the game to generate out there. Now, there's quite a lot of blocks here, so I'm gonna just fly back around. Actually, we might be able to see our end gateway from here. Maybe not. It's just over there a bit. And go to the south side and see if there's less blocks, because I don't really fancy mining all of this out because it'll take a while. I've dug out the entire central end island before. It took a very, very long time, and yeah, it's not a fun thing to do. So I'm going to head to the south side and see how many blocks we've got to mine out over there. Okay, and this is just here. As you can see, we've actually got a few end cities around here too. So, again, if I turn on chunk borders, you can see there's not a lot here to mine out. So we'll probably do it on this south side here. Now, to explain a little bit about how the game generates the gateways, sort of visually, I've talked about it a bit, but sometimes it's helpful to learn this visually. I'm going to hop into a screenshot of the end of my world, and hopefully explain it a little bit better there. So, what I've got up here is, this is a screenshot taken from a program called MCA Selector, and it's a chunk pruning program. So you can open it up and you can select which chunks you want to delete, and then they'll reload which is useful if you're updating versions. So, for example, in the 1.20 update, when that comes out, I'll go through my world, delete any chunks that I've been in but not really done anything with, and then when I go load up the world in 1.20, I can go to those chunks and they'll load up brand new with any 1.20 changes. However, I'm using it here just to show what my end looks like. So we can see in the middle here, if I zoom in a bit, we've got our main end island. You can see the obsidian pillars. You can see there's my Enderman farm just out there. And what you can see is all of the chunks have been loaded. This is just a screenshot of the MCA Selector program. In the actual program, you can then look around a bit further. So you can see lots down here. I will have loaded more. You can obviously see this is an older screenshot because I've not actually been to the south side here. But what the game does when you go through a gateway on the end island is it will go out 1024 blocks from here. So these big boxes here are what's known as regions, and these are 512 blocks square. And if I bring a line up, essentially what the game will do, so for example, we're going through this south one. So it will draw a line south 1028 blocks to there, like so, and wherever there's terrain here, it will try and generate a gateway. Now, if there is no terrain, and actually I'll use the north one because I have the terrain generated. So we have our 100 or 1024 block line going out, and as you can see here, it's a bit blurry because it's zooming in, but that lands on some endstone. Now what the game will do is, you'll notice when you go through end gateways that it generates very close to the edge of the island. So if I try and find one that I've already been to down here somewhere. Okay, here we go. I believe it's this sort of dark patch here. Again, really difficult to see because it's blurry, but you'll notice that it's generated very close to the edge of the end island. Now, what the game does to make sure it does that, because when it generates it, it wants to generate it so the outer end islands are all in front of you, and then you just have these 1,000 odd blocks of void straight behind you. So what it'll do is it'll pick up its line here, and then it'll start checking chunks backwards. So it'll go, okay, is there terrain in this chunk backwards? Okay, we'll hop here. And then it'll go, okay, is there terrain in the next chunk backwards? And it'll go, okay, there's no terrain here, so we'll generate it, or we'll generate the end gateway here. Now, we can trick it into making the end gateway appear in the middle of the void. I think it's somewhere around 760 something blocks. I'll say when I'm actually doing it in the video. I need to double check it. If we get rid of all of these blocks, like I said earlier, but we have transparent blocks, like non-native to the end, so I'm going to be using glass or white stained glass, the game will be like, okay, there is some terrain here, but I can't generate a gateway. However, because there is terrain, I'm going to check back. And so it will still keep checking backwards and backwards until it finds some viable blocks, which I believe would be somewhere around there-ish. It won't go too far backwards, because then it runs the risk of getting a bit too close to the central end island. So it's a couple hundred blocks over halfway. I think it's somewhere between 700 and 800. And if there are endstone blocks here, then it will generate a gateway above one of them there. If there's not, it will then go back to the 1024 and then push backwards. So what we can do is, or what I'm going to do in a bit, is bridge out with glass, place some endstone blocks here, then get back to the main end island, and then go through the gateway. In the case of what I'm doing, it's going to be the south gateway. And what that will then do is the game will look at the 1024 block, will go, oh, there's no endstone here, but there are blocks, there is terrain. So it's gonna check back, and then it'll go, oh, there's endstone here. This must be the end of that outer end island. So I'm going to spawn the gateway here. And that is essentially what we're doing. And technically this works in all directions. So, for example, it's easiest in the northeast southwest. However, it does work going out from like here-ish. The steps on this program that I'm using isn't like in 20, it's in 24. But for example, if there was a gateway straight diagonally, which I don't actually think there is, then it will go 1024 blocks out this way, which is going to be somewhere around here-ish, I think. And then it will track back. But yeah. So I'm going to hop back into Minecraft and we will see if we can get this to work. It might not work. I might fail miserably, but hey, there's 3 other compass points to try it with. So this is fun, doing weird things with the game. Okay, so back in Minecraft, I need to... This is 1024, isn't it? I need to get rid of all the blocks in these chunks. This actually... Well, that took a painful amount of time. As you can just about see, it's yeah, a long time. There we go. See a bit better in free camera. And now what we need to do is bridge out that direction into nothingness. And there's a very specific way we need to do this. Now, in an ideal world, with farming, as I've previously mentioned, we'd like to be as low as possible in the world. However, end gateways will only generate on blocks of endstone that are at Y30 or above. So, we need to bridge out at Y equals 30. So you can see here we're looking at block just in the top left there, the Y is 34. So we don't need to go down too much. And I'm going to be going down with glass because it is non-spawnable. I could use leaves, but for me it's just a bit easier to get glass. Because I can just trade it from villagers. And it's also really easy to see against the void, particularly white stained glass like this. So we can see here, this is Y30. And now we just need to bridge out that way to the shortest distance from the central end island the game will generate an end gateway. And that is 768 blocks from 0, 0. So in this case, because we're on facing south, which is positive Z, we want Z 768, and it's going to be that chunk. So I'm going to bridge out in this way, and we need to make sure that it's this 2 wide bridge, 1 in this set of chunks and 1 in this set of chunks. So in the 0 and the -1. Yeah, so I'm going to bridge out there, and I'll see you in a bit. Be a lot easier if I had Swift Sneak. And here we are. You can see these blocks here are at a Z value of 768. We're not quite close enough to the end island to see it, unfortunately, but you can see behind us. So now what we're going to do is turn on chunk borders, and you can see this is sort of the intersection of 4 chunks. So the game will generate the end portal in sort of one of these 4 chunks, pretty much. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab some end stone, which I helpfully don't have on me. Bear with me. There we go. We're going to take some end stone and place it in these chunks, sort of like this. So this is the corner of a chunk, and we're going to do it here. And we're going to do it here because obviously end gateways are sort of fill sort of a 3x3 space if you look at them from the top down. And so then we're going to do a similar thing here. And a similar thing here. And so, theoretically, we should be able to generate an end gateway here. Unfortunately, there's only one way to find out. And that is to go through an end gateway. So there's one just over here. And so we're going to go back through to the main end island. And then we're going to try and go through the one directly south. Which is mildly terrifying. Okay. I am actually terrified about this. I really hope this works. Hey! There we go. And just like that, we have an end gateway in the middle of the void. How cool is that? And it's generated above this end stone block here. Oh, I can sort of relax a bit now. Yeah. So I think I'm going to leave that there for today's episode. Like I said, I'm really busy. We'll do something with this in the future. What I'd really like to do is sort of get rid of all of this glass. We'll have a platform here, obviously, for the end gateway. But yeah, what I really like to do is put a ring of glass at Y0, and then we'll have all sorts of farms on top of it. And yeah, so basically within the sort of the random tick range, I'll do it. Which should be 128 blocks, or rather the chunks that are within 128 blocks. We can put all sorts of farms out here, and it'll be very nice and lag friendly. But yeah, that'll do it for today. This is such a weird sight. An end gateway right out here. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this episode, and I will hopefully see you next week. I'm not entirely sure how my upload schedule is going to be with exams. My first ones are next week. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you whenever I next upload. Yeah, goodbye.